Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two Canadian whiskeys from the same company, Diageo, formerly owned by Seagram's. Crown Royal, introduced in 1939 by Seagram's Distilling Company and purchased by Diageo in 2020 years ago. Craig Swenson says good morning. Good morning, Craig. Thanks for watching. So we have the original Crown Royal Fine Deluxe, they call it, but they got it spelled both ways on their website. Deluxe, 2 words, and Deluxe. So what's the official way? I guess both, since they got it spelled both ways. Kind of strange. Deluxe. All right. This is part of what they call the signature series. Jojo. Cheers, Jay, and happy Sunday. Cheers to you. Ronnie, yes. Good morning, Ron. Drinking the good stuff today. Yeah. Well, I got a whole crowd. Got the whole gang, or a lot of the gang. And they got Stout Sunday coming at 9:30 on Alex's channel. So there's the big jug bottle. It's better to get this per ounce, you see, because better per ounce to get that one. You get one bottle, it's 23. You get this big, which is more than 2.5. And it's 45. So, I mean, if I'm going to utilize it for taste challenges, it's better to have the big one. But I'm already a good third through it, maybe more. I mean, I got so many Canadian whiskeys, taste challenges, knocking it out. Here's a small half-size bottle. Thank you, John and Illy, for this. Crown Royal Blender's Mash. Now, I went and bought a regular-size bottle. What was it, last month? And it was bourbon mash. They had some leftover, say, bourbon mash. Labels peeling off. All right, so it's not good. Will I be able to tell the Stout Sunday is the regular time? Yeah, 9:30. Alex is hosting it. I wish Alex would join regularly instead of just when he's hosting it, but whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I guess John and Neely went out of town for Labor Day. I would assume that's what happened, because I saw it. They had it posted on Alex's channel that it was coming up. So I said, I'll see what's going on. I've got a few choices to choose from for mine. Use too much glue. I'm trying to glue this down. Let's hold it. Will I be able to tell them apart? I don't know. I think they're pretty similar. The bourbon mash / blender's mash is not bourbon. It's just made, but it was confusing, I guess. It was made from, they use 5 different flavoring whiskeys in their whiskey production. Crown Royal, 5 different ones. Now, Crown Royal itself, the regular one, uses 50 different whiskeys. So there's 1 or 2, I don't know, flavoring whiskeys they add, and then they have all these other, like 45 or whatever, different, they call it base whiskeys. And then they got all these different combinations. Okay, but anyway, one of their flavoring whiskeys was called the bourbon mash, because it was similar to American bourbon, so they called it bourbon mash. That's just what they called it at the distillery. And they decided to make it into, use that and make it into a whiskey on its own. And then, you know, of course, blend it with base whiskey, grain spirits. And then, but there was there was complaints from American distillers that they were calling it bourbon mash. So they were able to use their power to get the U.S. government to get them to change the name to Blender's Mash. All right. Just like Canadian club whiskey used to be called club whiskey. It was just called club whiskey. But it got so popular that these United States distilling companies put pressure on the U.S. government, and the U.S. government put pressure on the Canadian club people and said, you know, it might be a good idea if you change that name. You know what we mean? So they hurried up and changed it to Canadian Club. to let people know it was from Canada. I'm just telling you what happened. I was thinking of going to the beach this morning, but not sure. I'm watching the sunrise with you today. Sound like a good idea, going to the beach. Okay. So this one is the Blender's Mash. I got my label straight. Blender's Mash. Bourbon Mash. Blender's Mash. Bourbon Mash. Blender's Mash. Here's the Crown Royal Fine Deluxe. Crown Royal is the most popular whiskey in Louisiana. It's one of the most popular in the United States and in the world. People say it's overpriced. Well, of course you're paying for the name. When these things get popular, they can charge more because people start to affiliate with it and identify with it. And then, you know, I want my Crown. Are there much cheaper options that are just as good? Yeah, like Canadian Club. You can get it for half the price. Some places have Canadian Club for a big bottle like this for $24, you know, $23. So, and I don't, to me, Canadian Club might be better than Crown Royal, but it doesn't have any more. This is not 1935. Doesn't have that name recognition as being the great thing. Crown Royal bypassed it, you know, over the last 50 years. Canadian Club was always my favorite sipping whiskey, says Burley. I wish I'd say some of my Crown Royal. I'd have a shot now while watching. Yeah, right. Might have some Canadian Mist today. Dawn Busters, right. Yeah, Canadian Mist was introduced by, I can't remember the company, in 1968 or 67 as a inexpensive bland whiskey, intentionally bland. If you read the old write-up about it, they made it to be very bland for mixing purposes, get 80 proof, but it's not supposed to have a lot of flavor as by design. And then Brown Forman bought it in 1971, the people that owned Jack Daniels, and then they kept it going, got it really popular, Canadian Mist. You know, the mist, you'll get sprayed with water, but you won't get soaked. So that's what Canadian Mist is like. You'll taste it, but you won't get full of flavor. And then they sold it to Sazerac earlier this year. I think it was 2020. So Sazerac owns Canadian Mist today. Oh, well. How much does Fine Deluxe cost? Yeah, if you get a regular size bottle, the $7.50, about $23. They're having a sale right now at one store, $22.99. So yeah, it'll run you about that. The Bourbon Mash, Blender's Mash, depending on which bottle you find, it's the same product, about $27.99, so $28. I'm drinking a Truly in a 40-ounce Mickey. Okay. Serendipity, you are. All right, thanks for the facts about Miss J. You're welcome, JoJo. Well, on with the taste challenge because I got to watch the news at the top of the hour. I mean, I don't have to watch it, but I would like to watch it and go walking. Ease me on good. Okay. I had some beers last night and have been battling heartburn. Probably won't drink today. That's understandable. It's understandable. Okay, here we go. Don't know if I'll be able to tell them apart. The appearance, the same. Amber. Are they colored with caramel color? Yeah, I think that's a common practice in Canada to color them, make them look darker, because they're aging them in old used barrels, and those don't give it a lot of color. Might give it flavor, a little wood flavor, but it'd be so washed out. Wouldn't bother me, but it would bother some people. You know, it's 346 in Las Vegas. That's right. Nice 96. I enjoyed some natty lights outside the pool yesterday. I've heard good things. Ronnie, 646 in Clearwater. Right, that's right. So let's go with this now. The aroma. Well, as usual, Canadian whiskey is mostly corn. Does it have to be corn? Well, no, it could be any grain. They could use rye. There's a 100% rye, I think, Canadian Club. I was looking for that yesterday. I didn't see it. It's up to whatever they want to make it with. But they typically use corn, and then they'll add some wheat whiskey, rye whiskey. Some malt whiskey made with barley malt, and blend them together as they see fit to get the taste they want. It makes sense, all right? It does. They're all going to smell like grain because they're made out of grain. Even malt whiskey is still grain. It's just malted barley. It's a grain. It's all cereal grain. Okay, so that smells. Now, can Canadian whiskey add flavoring? Yes. Do they have to disclose it? No. They can add rum, brandy, American bourbon. They can add wine. Wine. As long as the wine is aged in wood. Small wood, they call it, barrels. So Canadian whiskey can have some crazy flavors. Crazy flavors. Okay, this one is not as sharp in the nose. It's a much more mellow nose. Let's say less aroma, less corn. This one's just like generalized grain alcohol. Like if you took, like ethanol, you know, they put 10% ethanol in gasoline because the U.S. government subsidizes it. They don't need ethanol and gasoline, okay? That's a corporate welfare to the farmers, mainly farming conglomerates. But that's another topic. We got so many comments, I can't read them all. Good morning from Dallas, says Shane. What news are you going to watch, Ron? Local news. Cowboys going to go back to the Super Bowl. Yeah, maybe they'll protest and not go to the Super Bowl. See, that's how they could show they're really serious. Qualify for the Super Bowl and then not go. That'll show them. And then don't accept any money. Give it to whatever radical group you want to give it to. You say you think those players are going to give up $100,000? No, I think it's all phony. They're not going to give it up. Put your money where your mouth is, though. If you want to be an extremist, be a real extremist, you know, be an authentic one, not a fake one, you know. But anyway, hopefully they don't protest. They'll do it because they like attention. You know, people love to be the center of attention. Been waiting 26 years. Jerry won't let them protest. Yeah, he'll let them. He's going to have to back down to the National Socialist Football League. The National Socialist Football League is going to make him back down. Okay. So now on the initial smell test, I think that's the Crown Royal because it's much duller. Dull, like there's not a lot of aroma. All right. It's not a bad aroma. It's nothing off-putting or off. It just doesn't have any, it was like not much to it. Now this one over here, on the other hand, it's a much more full, it's a much fuller, and then there's that the corn. And what do we know about bourbon? Corn. That's my complaint about bourbon. Then it tastes like corn grits. Just ate some grits. So I think that's the tip off, but let's go with the taste. Cheers to you. I pour too much. I'm trying to be conservative and save my stuff. And then I go and I pour it too much. All right. I'm picking up charred oak. You say, no, you're crazy. Well, that's what I'm picking up. I think they say they use, okay, so there's the Crown Royal Deluxe says what? Or Fine Deluxe. Is a standard of excellence for Canadian whiskey. It is an extraordinary blend of our finest whiskeys matured to perfection. Nose, rich and robust. I didn't find that. With a slight hint of vanilla and fruit. Not really. Delicately smooth palate and creamy with hints of the sweet flavor of vanilla. Finish long and lingering. They probably know more about it than me. I'm not picking up all that elaborate. All these elaborate qualities they're discussing. To me, it's rather basic. But blender's mash or bourbon mash showcases the warm vanilla and subtle oaky notes of our beloved corn-heavy whiskeys. Well, what did I just say? Corn-heavy. Is a showcase of a classic whiskey style but with the famous smooth finish, allowing whiskey to stand on its own. Nose, aromas of ripe apple and buttery toffee. Ripe apple and buttery toffee. Maybe the toffee. I'm just smelling sweet corn alcohol, corn liquor. Creamy vanilla, dried orchard fruit. Dried orchard fruit. Allspice and toasted oak. Sweet caramel finish and unmistakable smoothness of Crown Royal. Well, I'm not picking up all that, but you might say, you're no whiskey expert. Those people make whiskey all day. They know how to taste it. You don't. You're not an expert. Well, there's no doubt about that. I'm not an expert, and I don't taste it all day, and I don't work in the industry, so I would defer to them. Now, you might say they're just making up descriptors. It's not that elaborate. They're lying. I do not assume that they're lying. I mean, it's possible. I just assume that's what they taste now. Nice. I bought a U.S. flag for my balcony yesterday for 96 cents. That's great. Somebody put one in my front yard by the mailbox. I know who it is. She put one on everybody's mailbox. I don't know why she put American flags, United States flags out. Labor Day is not a patriotic holiday. But she probably thinks it is. You know, people don't know anything about their history or their government generally. That's less than 2 cents per star, right? Yeah. Most people I talk to have a very thin or non-existent understanding of history and geography. Like they were showing this whole interview from New Zealand. They were interviewing people on the street in downtown, I think it's Christchurch, the capital. But I think Wellington. No, it's Wellington, the capital, yeah. Wellington. But the other big city is Christchurch. But I think that was the city. And they were asking them, you know about Australia? Oh, yes, I've heard of that country. And they say, what language do they speak in Australia? And a lot of the people in New Zealand say, I don't know. They didn't know. And Australia and New Zealand, both part of the Commonwealth. They're both Commonwealth realms. Queen Elizabeth's the queen of both of them and England. But this goes to show you, it's not just Americans who are ignorant. They didn't know. What do you know about Australia? And the people on the street were saying, nothing. I don't know anything. I know they have kangaroos. One guy said they have kangaroos and koala bears. And then they asked people, where's Australia located? They didn't know. I didn't buy it for Labor Day, just happened to coincide with Labor Day. Well, that makes sense. Most people mix whatever whiskey they buy with water. Oh, well, better off buying Evan Williams. Oh, yeah, right. Why buy an expensive whiskey and then, yeah, dingoes. Expensive whiskey and then wash it out with flavor. I don't know. People do it all the time. And there's a spiciness in the nose as well. This has got to be the blender's mash. Because I think the blender's mash being a specialty item from Crown Royal, Diageo, Crown Royal. And who is Diageo? That's Guinness. Guinness became Diageo. They just changed the name, really. Which was probably smart because it would sound strange. Crown Royal from Guinness, you know, it's another brand. Okay, I just think it costs more money, and I just think it's a richer product. Is the Crown Royal bad? Well, no, it's hardly bad. It's Crown Royal. You get some people on the internet talking about, I hate Crown Royal. I'd rather drink urine. It's trash. It's garbage. Well, because it's a big company, you see, and it's mass produced. So anything that's mass produced, they hate it. I know these kind of people. They do it with beer, wine, also. If more than 50 people can get it and you can buy it in a store and you don't have to wait in line for 3 hours, they hate it. Believe me. I don't drink that mass produced stuff. And then you'll say, what about this craft beer? That, you know, they'll hate it because it'll be on the store shelves, you know, in one state. You say, nah, people aren't. Yeah, they got crazy people like that. Then they'll tell you, I hate mass produced products. I tell them, well, you're driving a car. Is that handmade? Let me see. No, it says Chevrolet. Huh. That's a mass production item. You're wearing a shirt. You made it by hand or, oh, okay, you bought it at, you ordered it from JCPenney. I got you. But anyway, it's funny how people can be very selective in their anti-capitalism. You know what I'm saying? I'm no capitalist. I'm a free enterprise guy. You know that. I'm not a supporter of international finance capitalism. I'm a supporter of free enterprise. Those two things are not the same. Anyway, let's get off of that. Crown Royal is really good. I think it comes from a book about Australia. A book about Australia. All right. So here's my assessment. They're both good, but this one in my left hand, could be to your right, has more flavor. It's richer. It has more character. It's more elaborate. It's more elaborate. And it had better be more elaborate because it cost me $5 more per bottle. You said, that ain't that much money. Yeah, but it's money. A penny saved is a penny earned. And if you're paying more, you should get more, right? Right. Got it. Get it. Got it. Accept it. Okay. So I'm going to say this is the Crown Royal Blender's Mash. Now, all the other future Canadian Taste Challenges not going to be Diageo. Well, it could be Diageo products, but it's not going to be Crown Royal. You understand? It's going to be all these other Canadian whiskeys I have. Some are good. Some are highly questionable. But most are good. Most are good. Most are good. Okay. So, it is. I wrote it so small. Yeah, okay. So it is the Crown Royal Bourbon Mash / Blender's Mash. Oh, yeah. It's got a richer flavor. So if you say, they taste the same, and it's a gimmick, it's the same thing. Wrong. It's not the same thing. They look the same, but they don't smell nor taste the same. They don't. Does Crown Royal from the Blender series, I think the first one was the Texas Mesquite. I never tried that one. But does the Crown Royal Blender's Mash Bourbon Mash taste better than the regular Crown Royal Fine Deluxe, the flagship? Yes, I think it does. I would rather have it. Is Crown Royal good, standard, quality product that holds its own against pretty much everybody? Yeah, everybody that's in the standard world. You know, it's not going to stand up against like the specialty, like the Canadian Club small batch 12-year age that John and Nille bought me. That's only $1 more. It's only like $24.99. But it's great. It's great. That the Canadian Club's gonna that never loses. The Canadian Club 12-year age, it never loses. Never. It always wins. Best value on the market, probably. Oh, well, Crown Royal, a little bland, a little dull, but nothing bad. You know, it's designed to be bland and dull. Okay. And then the Blender's Mash, richer, more character, a little bit more excitement and action. So it wins. And secondly, I can tell them apart. So in the next couple of weeks, you'll see a bunch of Canadian whiskey taste challenges, everybody versus the Blender's Mash. Who's going to win? I would think that the Blender's Mash will win most of the time, but I don't know that. I'm going to watch the news now. Sun's out here. Yes, coming here. It's a cruel summer, right? Like the video says. Maybe do a review of Blue Oyster Cult album released in October. Oh, we got a new one coming, huh? I bought their last one. Are you sticking with the Crown Royal for a while? Yeah, I'm going to do Crown Royal Bourbon Mash versus everybody else. All right, thank y'all. Thanks you all for watching, and it's on to the news. Yeah, it's going to be Bourbon Mash versus everybody else that I've got.